Alright guys, we're kind of coming full circle back to where this all began back in March with Gamergate 2 kicking off because of companies like Sweet Baby Inc. going after gamers and people starting to realize all the connections, the vast spider web of evil, deceptive, conniving people behind the scenes trying to essentially wiggle their way into the games industry and change the way that we look and think about games. And so of course we covered this back in March, I want to say, this article from Twitchy talking about how feds are now targeting gamers for spreading disinformation, and this spiraled into something that we saw take the form of games like Dustborn and all that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But again, this has been a long-running theme of both private entities, governments, agencies, companies trying to essentially alter the way that people behave online, and gaming has been at the forefront of this because pretty much everybody, whether they really are or are not, identifies as a gamer nowadays. And so of course everybody's online, we're always interacting, whether it's social media, whether it's again an online platform for a game or a forum that we're on. So of course they're going to go after these venues for communication, especially among gamers who tend to be, let's just say a little more excessively toxic than other groups of people would be. And I have no problem with that personally. So of course, we then have talked about TakeThis.org, an organization which, as of this year, almost ran out of money to keep operating, and then I believe they got some large anonymous donation that, again, I don't know that anybody was able to trace back to whoever actually donated. It was like $50,000, if I remember correctly, or some crazy number. But again, this is an organization that exists to go after people for the things they say online, and they supposedly offer mental health, resources and services for people. It's like, if you're online and you're having a bad mental health day, get off the internet. These are always the answers that people just seem to ignore. The easiest way to deal with bullying, to deal with harassment, to deal with any of these things, if they're happening online, is to put down the phone and walk away. But again, they're never going to accept that as the answer. It's always, we have to go out there and crusade against people and change the way that they think about things. Of course, we've also seen the GGWP, which is the first anti-toxicity platform for games, and it says that they modernize game moderation. We use AI to identify positive and disruptive player behavior and empower moderators to become superhuman with automation and streamlined tools. Essentially, they're going to give people the ability to be superpowered, online nannies to ban the people who say naughty words online, or even do like the hardware ban that we've seen people talk about in the past, where they don't just ban your IP address, but they ban your hardware as well, which is kind of crazy to even think about, that people would go that far over mean words online. We've seen the grifters like Sweet Baby Inc., Melanin Gamers in particular, start this toxicity rating, which of course was pretty cringe at the time and pretty hilarious because they have different toxicity rating for different games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Minecraft, Apex Legends, Animal Crossing. If you click on Animal Crossing, you have a 50% chance of experiencing toxicity playing Animal Crossing online. Again, these are people that are the true grifters. They serve no purpose but to try to get money out of people to say, yes, we can help you, keep you safe online. We can go after the naughty people, tell you how to avoid mean words. When the reality is, I play games online all the time. The reality that most people don't seem to understand is, in general, you might run into one asshole here or there, but most people don't have that big of an issue with it. This is something that they are really milking for all that it's worth. We saw Valorant Studios head Anna Donlan tell players that they can go play something else, we won't miss you, when they announced their new player behavior policies. And again, this is not surprising given the fact that Valorant has a very excessively woke customer base, massive player base of left-wing, weirdo, feminist, blue-haired, nose-ring freaks. Let's just be honest about it. That's just the audience that game caters to. And now, of course, we've seen more recently with games like Dustborn coming out, with the US government, being involved in actually funding these games because they want to create games that counter disinformation, because again, the government cannot let you have free thought on your own. They always have to get in the middle of what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and how they can change it. But now we have an even crazier story today. This just gives you some back history from where we started back in March to where we are now. Before we get into it, make sure to check out Instant Gaming. These guys have got all the top-selling new releases on discount. You can save some money, pick up some great games for all the platforms, PC, console, Epic, you name it. Of course, they got Farming Simulator 25 for 29% off. You can get a copy of Raven's Watch for 46% off. Pre-order games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Gold Edition, or of course Monster Hunter Wilds. And as always, we do have the giveaway available for 2 weeks. You can get signed up here, make an account, no purchase necessary. You can win a key for any game that you want to redeem it for. Massive shout out to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. So now today, again, we are seeing stories of the ADL getting in the middle of what they want to call hate speech and extremism online. So this article from PC Gamer says Steam accused of normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community in new ADL report. Now, again, some backstory on the ADL for anybody who doesn't know. This is an organization that lives to go after people for any number of reasons, and they always go back to the same thing. It's anti-Semitic. It's anti-Semitism. They always scream anti-Semitism, regardless of whether something is or isn't. It's kind of like when companies like Sweet Baby Inc. or Black Girl Gamers claim that everybody's racist. Or, again, Hollywood tells you that you are sexist or misogynist if you don't want to see strong, empowered women in every single Marvel movie going forward. This is the ADL's grift. They're going to go after companies. They're going to go after people's advertisers. They did this with Twitter. They've done this with everybody where they want to say, you are anti-Semitic, so you need to go ahead and give us some money so we can tell you how to be better. So this article says the Anti-Defamation League says it's found millions of examples of extremist and hateful content on the Steam platform. And the article says the Anti-Defamation League, which is a U.S. organization that aims to combat anti-Semitism and support Israel, which that's interesting that those are the things that they put on the forefront, but okay, has published a report alleging that Steam is rife with extremism and anti-Semitism and accuses Valve of allowing the spread of hateful and extremist material through a highly permissive approach to content policy. You're just going to die laughing when you find out what they say is anti-Semitic, and I'm sure some of you guys have probably already guessed it. The ADL said it reports, based on what is described as an unprecedented platform-wide analysis of public data on Steam, including more than 458 million user profiles, 152 million profile and user group avatar images, and 610 million user comments. The ADL Center on Extremism found millions of examples of extremist and hateful content, including explicit hate symbols like Sonnenrads and Happy Merchants, as well as copy pastas, which of course are blocks of text that are copied and pasted to form images of long-form writing, shaped into swastikas being shared on the platform. The clear gaps in Steam's moderation of this content inflict harm by exposing untold users to hate and harassment, enabling potential radicalization and normalizing hate and extremism in the gaming community, the ADL wrote. Understanding the extent of extremist and hateful content on the platform is key to fighting the proliferation of hate online. Here's where we get to the real funny part. Pepe the Frog, I shit you not, and swastikas are the most common extremist symbols found on Steam, according to the report, respectively representing 54.6% and 9.1% of detected symbols. So 54.6% is Pepe, and that's extremist. The ADL also found tens of thousands of pieces of terrorism-related content on Steam community, including more than 15,000 public accounts with profile pictures featuring the flags or logos of ISIS, Hezbollah, Hamas, and others. Hundreds of accounts were found using photos of white supremacist mass murderers, Brenton Tarrant, and Anders Breivik as their avatar images. Now, here's the thing. People don't understand. At least normal people get it, but these people don't seem to understand. Gamers, toxic, whatever, the edgy, whatever you want to call them, they do this shit for a reaction, or they do it because they think it's funny. It's a joke, it's a meme, get over it. This is just the way people interact online. This does not mean that everybody who's putting a swastika on there, everybody who's got a picture of a white supremacist or Pepe the Frog as their avatar image, I keep saying avatar, is a white supremacist, Jew-hating, Nazi. That does not mean that that's who they really are. But again, the ADL, being that this is their grift, they're going to run with it every opportunity they get. This is just what they do. So, of course, you can see on the PC Gamer post on Twitter, it says, Steam accused of normalizing hate and extremism. Zach Asmongold says, what a bunch of retarded BS. Endymion, eat my ass. Neon, we can't control gamers, let's call them Nazis. Nobody is having it because we've seen this time and time again. And now if you want a little bit of context, a little proof that these guys are nothing but evil, vile grifters who don't really care about, following rules or extremism, they just have one agenda to push. You can see from this post today, right after this article came out, that the ADL appears to have used an alternate version of Pegasus software to dox an account. This guy, Michael Ray Corey, says they also appear to abuse the trusted third-party contractor access via X. Getting the metadata forensically analyzed now, but abusing our digital privacy rights in this way, and especially on this platform, is something Elon Musk mentioned he was fiercely against. It's supposed to be against terms of service. And what he's talking about, this post from the ADL, it says, the ADL Center on Extremism just unmasked a popular anti-Semitic ex-influencer. Curious to know who is behind the popular anti-Semitic account, the official 1984? Read the latest edition of our Extremely newsletter, and don't forget to subscribe. And again, they're talking about this account right here, this 1984 account. Again, I don't know if they're anti-Semitic or not. There's a lot of times where if you ask questions, you get labeled anti-Semitic. So again, I'm going to leave that up for you guys to determine whether or not you think this account is truly anti-Semitic or not. But a lot of people have pointed this out. So the ADL just doxed a person using Israeli cyber spyware. So that's a thing that happened. And yeah, Pegasus spyware is a spyware developed by the Israeli cyber arms company NSO Group that is designed to be covertly and remotely installed on mobile phones running iOS and Android. And they used it to dox a person on Twitter. Jake Shields says, hey, Elon Musk, you said this is a bannable offense, so will you keep your word or are you scared of the ADL? Referencing a previous tweet from this year, we're saying any doxing, which includes revealing real names, will result in account suspension. So now the ball is in Elon Musk's court because everybody is calling for him to ban the ADL from Twitter, given that they have now doxed a private citizen, which is a clear violation of terms of service. But again, the ADL cares more about going after gamers and mean words online and images they don't like, and pictures of Pepe the Frog and swastikas, which again, I am not endorsing these things. I am simply saying that they are making a big deal out of nothing, and this is just the way that the ADL operates, where they'll say one thing and do another because they believe that they're above the law. So again, I'm going to leave this right there. This is a slightly bigger deal in my personal opinion than Alyssa Mercante or even Dragon Age Veilguard right now, so this is something that needs to be talked about, shared out. If you appreciate the coverage, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.